Hi, Megan.
Hey, Devon.
And hello to our listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Hockey Style with your hosts, Devon and Megan. If you are new here, our pod highlights the humans and the stories that make hockey the best sport in the world, with exciting industry guests and, of course, a dose of style. Everything from forechecks to fit checks are items we will discuss, and today is no exception as we look forward to bringing you one of our favorite friends from the ladies of the NHL, a Dallas Stars super fan. We'll introduce her at the end of the first period. But first, Megan, where are you sitting? This is like your third location this month. Is this a new
Sorry,
podcast
guys.
studio?
Yeah, no. Um, I am in the process of moving and just kind of keep moving things around until everything's here and finally get in a permanent location. So don't be shocked if next time it's a totally different look because it probably will be.
I like this like makeshift setup though because you have great representation. I see Dallas, Detroit
I
there.
try.
Are those whose gloves do you have
Oh,
rocking
well, it's
behind you?
Pew's suitor,
Oh, there you go.
I
There-
mean, he's a sweetheart.
You you
I don't think he's signed anywhere yet. We
oh
need our next guest to clarify when we talk to her.
yes, absolutely, and she will know if anyone does. But yeah, it's looking good. Of course, you know how much I love Dallas Stars, possibly
Mm-hmm.
in contention for my second favorite team. So I've got
Mm-hmm.
all the otter going on.
For
My
sure.
Jay Ottinger jersey. I love a nerdy hockey t-shirt, but this is probably my favorite because it's actually an otter wearing goalie pads. And then I have a plush otter. It was for my dogs, quote
Mm-hmm.
unquote.
It's a great way to circumvent that.
Oh, well, I'm very excited to have a Dallas Stars episode. Um, but before we get into it, not so much happening in the world of hockey. Usually at this point, I go, there's so much happening in the world of hockey. But no,
No.
we are in the depths of summer hockey
Oh
withdrawal.
yeah.
All of
Everybody's at the
the,
cottage. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's the way to say it. All of the podcasters and bloggers and social media accounts that I follow for hockey are all just posting memes about hockey withdrawal. And
Mm-hmm.
we feel you guys. We are right there with you. But we've had fun as Detroit Red Wings fans, at least getting to feel connected to the team through our early celebrations of our upcoming centennial with the poster that the marketing team put together, Red Wings Summer 100. We like to call it the Summer 100. We have been checking things off slowly but surely. And Megan, you have put together for us some pretty funny content this weekend. Tell us about that.
Well, one of our tasks was to go to an open skate at your local rink. So we did that. And while we were there, checked off quite a few more things.
Yeah, like five things.
Yeah, we did the best that we could. Got our skates sharpened. And then number 55 was of course don't get Cronwalled. And I will say that my fiance definitely tried to get me, but
Yeah.
I escaped. I think we scared a lot of figure skaters that were there practicing. Yeah. They were nervous about whatever just happened because they had no idea.
I don't know if your fiance slash my brother moonlit as a stunt double or just always secretly wanted to be one, but he was not acting. There was no acting in
Yeah,
this don't
he
crowd
really went for
moment.
it.
You
Yeah,
skated nicely past him.
as best I can.
He threw his body, heart, and soul against those boards. Like,
He sure
is he
did.
black and blue?
No, I think he really did kind of have the stunt double moves down because he's good.
Wow.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah.
Well, he's a hockey player, so he's
Mhm.
probably learned how to throw himself into the boards at this point.
Mhm. Yep.
Um,
And I didn't feel that my skating skills could give number 88 justice because we had to practice our best Showtime sellies. And so I gave that
uh,
one to Brennan too, and he really did a great job with it. I wasn't going to be able to put that together, but I did give a little caner shuffle at the
Yes.
end because I
Yes.
feel like that's also sort of a Showtime celebration. It's a little Caner shuffle.
Oh, early days Showtime. Absolutely. Yeah, it was you both did a phenomenal job honoring Patrick Kane. I think he would be proud. Who knew Brennan, my brother, was such an actor as well
Yeah.
because he did the like the bow and arrow one knee move, but then he had the tongue, he had the knee up. But
He
I
really
think
did it.
you win, Megan, because your Keener shuffle was just adorable, and I really hope we can show that to Patrick this year
Oh
because
boy, that'll be a moment. Oh
that will be
man.
that will be the moment that you defriend me
I don't,
in real
yeah,
life.
I'm like, I just, yeah, that's going to be a tough moment for
Okay,
me.
listeners, you have to see these videos. They're adorable. Check us out on Instagram at
Mhm.
Hockey Style Podcast, and you can watch not only Megan's little weekend getaway at the arena, but all of the challenges we've been doing as part of Detroit Red Wings Summer 100.
Mhm.
Join us if you want. You still have plenty of time. It's only end of July. So go ahead and hop on the bandwagon. You can look up the challenges or we're happy to DM you and we would love to see what you come up with. But also for our listeners who are not Detroit Red Wings fans and live in other markets, how are you spending your summer? Like, does
Mhm.
your team do something cool to help fans like get through this lull, this time where we're all just like craving a little bit of hockey? Do you watch reruns? Do you watch games? Do you just like go deep with hockey movies like Mighty Ducks on repeat? Like, you know, let us know. We're open to ideas. We would love to connect. So drop us a comment wherever you're listening. We would love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'd love to talk about any other trades or signings, but I don't really think
Nope.
there were any in the past 7 days. So
Nope.
let's go into the second period
I think we
and
should. Yeah.
let's do it. Without further ado, we are happy to introduce you to Blessen Brocke. She is a Dallas Stars super fan, a member and moderator of Ladies of the NHL, among ladies of several other NHL team Facebook pages. She is a future data analyst. She is studying data analysis as we speak. But she is currently the Ladies of the NHL go to official keeper of all metrics, analytics, trades, free agent signings. She's a wealth of knowledge. So
Mhm.
the fun fact is, after all that, you probably think this has been somebody who has been a fan for the past 3 decades, 4 decades. No, Blessen is one of our youngest members in her early 20s, and yet absolutely the best hockey fan you can imagine. Just loves
Mhm.
the game, the players, and everything about it. And you will absolutely agree after you hear the way she speaks about what makes hockey special. So we hope you will stick around for the second period and hear from Blessen.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the second period. Hi, Blessen.
Hi.
It's so fun to see your face, albeit over Zoom, because usually we're chatting with you on Facebook chat during a hockey card break. So at least this is a slight upgrade that we get to see you.
Yeah.
This is completely true.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This is such a treat.
I'd argue I'm pretty lucky that I got to hop on and let's talk puck.
Let's do it.
That's sweet of you. Well, when we thought Dallas Stars, you were the first name that came to mind. We have a
Absolutely.
group of ladies who know a ton about the Dallas Stars, but your hockey knowledge is top notch. In fact, for listeners who have listened to all of our episodes, you may recognize the name Blessen because we have mentioned her at least 3 times I can think of for her famous spreadsheets because she is our friend who keeps track of all of the NHL trades, reassignments, any movement. It's impressive. So we have to start by asking Blesson, how did this come to be? How do you
That
do it?
it is actually a pretty is I would call it a pretty like unimpressive story, but it kind of just blew up. So, for reference, I've always had a tangential extension to hockey, but once we got out of the pandemic, and I want to say it was the 22-23 season. I think it might have actually started because people in the card group kept asking, where did this fourth liner get traded? And for some reason, I would just always have the answer. So I'm like, you know what? I think it would just be easier if there was like a place people could look at
Mm-hmm.
so that they could figure out where like former players have gone. And then as the card group and the ladies Facebook groups across the board all grew, it kind of became an important sort of reference point. So I was like,
Yes.
well, if I mean, I have enough time because at that point I was starting to go back to school for data analytics, so I had time. I was like,
Aha,
okay.
data analytics. This makes a lot more sense now. You love the data.
I was like, well, I can't think of a reason why it wouldn't help. And then I think if it wasn't, I think the first version or the first one I ever made would have been that July for that off season. Because people were starting to ask after the trade deadline had passed. So I was like, you know what? Maybe it'd just be easier for everyone to remember if I kept track of everything starting from July. And that is how version one of the free agency slash trade deadline tracker came to be. I then did it for the trade deadline and free agency period for every season afterward. I haven't put out the free agency version for the season we just finished, because I am waiting on a few more big pieces to move, kind of like how when Miko moved in March.
Yes.
There's just one extension and one trade I'm sort of waiting on other than Mitch before I go. So here's
Yeah.
everything that's happened since March.
Yeah. You hand over the Bible, so to speak. And I should say, for our listeners who are like, well, I could just look up this information. That's the thing. Blessen does her homework. Like you anticipate trades that are coming, free agency signings, because you really like research and understand the priorities of the teams, what they're looking for. So you're definitely a wealth of knowledge. And I've never asked you this, Megan. I don't know if you and Bleston have ever talked about this, but how did that happen? Because you're relatively young. You are a lot younger than us, and yet you're our go to gal in Ladies of the NHL for this information. How did you get into hockey?
So, my brother is the Stars fan. When the Stars won the cup in '99, he would have been about 8, and I
Okay.
would have been like 3 weeks old. So it started
Oh,
with him.
oh,
Like, no, seriously, I was born on the 2nd of June, and they had awarded them the cup on like the 19th. I quite
Wow.
literally could not keep my eyes open. I was a child. So it started with trying to find some middle ground with my brother. And then with the pandemic happening and the bubble playoffs, and then subsequently the women's league at the time, the NWHL slash PHF having their like placid bubble,
hmm,
I started filling up my time watching those games. And I was like, I
nice.
see the appeal now. Um, Even though, like, I guess a couple years before in 2017 with the Vegas draft, I was like, okay, I new, shiny. This seems like a team I could get invested in. And then subsequently the 2017 entry draft, where my favorite player was drafted, it kind of just slowly fell into it. And I was like, I need somebody to talk to about this. So I started with my brother. And then once the bubble playoffs happened and subsequently Tampa winning the cup happened, I'm like,
Hmm.
I need to talk to people who are not my brother about this because
Yes.
otherwise I'm going to drive him off a cliff. Listen,
It's
he loves me with his entire heart, but even he has a limit. He'll never say it out loud, but he has a limit.
He sounds like a good brother to get you into hockey. And it's so true. Hockey is such a bond between family members and friends. How Megan and I became friends. It's reason we have this podcast. It's certainly we feel you on that. But you turned to ladies of the NHL at that point, right?
So at that point, I think we were just ladies of the, it would have been 31 teams at that point because this was pre-Kraken. And I
Ah,
was
yes.
like, I just put a search into Facebook and I was like, I don't know, ladies of the Dallas Stars. And Stacy's group popped up because it was established by then. And I think also ladies of the night may have popped up because I had
Yeah.
not put in, I think I put in team names and I'm like, wait a minute, there's a whole group of people. There's not a single dude to be found.
Yeah.
And I
I
can just
know.
talk
Isn't that great?
to them about this. Yeah, so I think from that point on it was history because I had finally found a community where like nobody was gonna look at me weird if I asked questions that
Hmm.
were obvious, like that were indicative of the fact that I was still very new to hockey. Nobody was going to chastise me for asking questions. And I could talk their ears off because there were so many of them, so they wouldn't be driven nearly as insane.
Everyone gets excited when you pop on to Facebook and everyone said, Blessings here, because you went from being like new to hockey to, like I said, being such a wealth of knowledge. And I think it's because you're so authentic and so passionate about the sport. So, what made you like fall in love with it?
I think there's something kind of beautiful about, 2 dozen people coming together in pursuit of one goal. And I'm sure you can say this about all organized sports. I don't know, football, but
Eh,
like in the context of hockey, you are doing something incredibly difficult, not only as like a physical spectacle, but just in pursuit of what I would argue to be one of the most difficult trophies in sports to win.
yes.
And then there are these narratives between teammates, these bonds, these friendships that are brought together. Literally, you will see fellow countrymen end up on the same team, and there's something beautiful about watching people who come from the same exact place work together for a common goal outside of the Olympics
Yeah.
or just strictly opportunities where they represent their country. They were brought together by circumstance instead of just origin of land or circumstance.
Hmm. That was so
It's
beautifully said. We, Megan and I, being Red Wings fans, of course, always look back to our time with the Russian Five with such pride, also because we were really great then. Hopefully, we'll see those days again. But you this year in Dallas got to debut during the playoffs the Finnish Five. And that was, I don't know if they're officially called that. I was calling them that because I love alliteration. But how cool, to your point, to see five guys from Finland come and be, a Stanley Cup contender and move the needle in such a huge way. What was that experience like as a Dallas fan?
it's actually kind of surreal once you think about it because there is a running joke between Stars fans that our general manager Jim Neal really likes drafting Finns, because he has consistently drafted at least one Finnish player in the past. I would like to say 3 to 5. Notable examples being Emil Hemming. He, I believe, is a left-handed defenseman from last year's draft. Um, I think he's probably going to end up in Cedar Park. Um,
Okay.
I we did draft one this past draft. I just cannot remember if it was the goalie we drafted or one of the defensemen we drafted.
Oh,
But there's just this undercurrent. I think it's been evident ever since that 2017 draft, maybe even further back than that, um, that we just have a penchant. We're scouting out talent, and a lot of that talent, if it isn't from American soil, has a tendency to come from Finland. The occasional
there you go.
Swede, notable example being Leon Bischel, um, who made his playoff debut this run.
Oh,
And
that was his playoff debut. Very cool.
yeah, so there's just this undercurrent, like this line, you know, tendency to scout some of the best and brightest because that's just the thing that we've managed to refine in the past, what, 8 years? And it
Hmm.
just, the fact that a lot of them happen to be Finns is a very funny coincidence at this point. It's just a running gag
Yeah.
at this point. We'll see how next year plays out.
We love Jim Nill here still because he got his start here. So we definitely miss him.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
It's all right. You've been attracting good people in Dallas. It's
For
no
sure.
secret. Dallas Stars were my pick for the Stanley Cup this year. So, eh, but I think you'll be certainly best in Central Region, and it'll be really fun to see what happens next season. So,
Hmm.
speaking of leadership for the team, and Jim, you brought on a new coach. Thoughts about that?
I'm going to say this as, I guess, impartially as possible. Since I was not actively watching hockey when our current head coach was here last time in 2011, I'm not really holding him to any standard outside of just getting us past the third round, if possible. Because
Yes.
when he was here the first time, there were a series of factors that we have to take into account. We were bankrupt. We were broke. I think we had like a hope, prayer, and shoestring. Like I think one of, if not the only player who is still here from his first time in Dallas is quite literally our captain. This is a completely different team,
It
a
is. Yeah.
completely different set of circumstances and perspective. I think it would be worth it to at least give him a chance, especially
Hmm.
since the last couple of coaches we've had have either actively made things better or set them all on fire. I think we should at least give
Yeah.
him a chance
Yeah.
before making any immediate assessments.
That's fair. And I mean, you still
I like
have
it.
a couple months before training camp, and it sounds like he's got a plan in place. He's already met with the coaching staff, and, he's coming in with enthusiasm and certainly a track record of success with getting Edmonton to the finals and what have you. But I hope you don't mind if I give a little more insight to our listeners right now. The reason Blessen wasn't actively watching hockey in 2011 is because, how did you say it before? You were a
Um,
preteen.
yeah, I was in middle school.
So I'm gonna if you're shocked and falling out of your chair right now, we totally understand because, like we said, Blossom is like this wealth of knowledge when it comes to NHL facts and player stats, and yet, yes, she is certainly at the bottom of our range of ages, our youngest member of Ladies of the NHL, and yet so crucial to the group, and that's why we're so
Seriously, yeah.
excited to have you. All right, you brought up the past coaches and being a huge Ottinger fan. This may be a little bit contentious, but I have to ask, what were your thoughts on what went down with Pete DeBoer? Because watching poor Otter's face when he was pulled, and that was another example, Megan, like we talked about, of a coach being interviewed next to the goalie that was just pulled, and Otter's just staring out in space, like, what went down? Do you think they made the right choice in coaching change? Do you think that's even related?
So, in regards to the coaching change, um, I'm not going to say it was a bad choice, but I'm also not going to sit here and lambaste Boer because if you look at his track record, we were inching that place where, like, I don't want to say he plateaus, but
Yeah.
there's a ghost of pattern recognition there because I believe when he was with the Sharks and when he was with Vegas, so this is not my first rodeo.
Yeah.
Um, Once we hit year three, something weird happens.
Mhm.
And if we look at least his most recent coaching post, so us and Vegas, it was around year three where things get weird. The power play
Hmm.
could not be consistently figured out. Defense seemed to fall apart at erroneous moments.
Mm.
In relation to Game 7 and how he chose to take out Jake, from a literal standpoint, it was not the wrong choice. The problem is it was roughly 3 to 4 games too late for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I say this knowing who our backup goalie is, but I
Hmm.
don't think pulling Jake was the answer in game 7. If he
Yeah.
had put Casey in either game 3, 4, or 5, maybe I could see it. In fact, I think Casey might have been in one of those games, but not for very long. Like he really
Yeah.
did swap in.
Yep. Yep.
It, if Casey had started maybe 3 or 4 games sooner, because I think everybody has to remember he got somewhere from like 8 to 10 starts this year. Otter carried us to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
I don't think swapping to Smith in would have made sense in game 7. I still don't think it
No.
did. Like,
Your last
yeah,
chance to move forward. It's like I'm all for pulling a goalie to not just because you're saying the goalie is underperforming, but because it can, really give a jolt of energy to the team. It's a bit of a wake up call. It's all right, we got to do something different. It just gives everyone some sort of like boost, right, on the ice. But to your point, when game 7 is your literal last ditch effort, and if you win it, you progress to the finals. Why would that be the time that you risk pulling your starter for your backup? It was such a weird, I don't know. It seemed like a power move to me. It just was strange. Like I was not at all shocked. I think even said, Megan, I'd be surprised if Pete's still around, and then he was not. So
you and half of our immediate friends were like, so how long after Blessen's birthday do you think they're gonna wait until they fire Coach DeBoer? For
yeah.
reference, I was born in early June.
Right, right. We have you for
So
a benchmark for playoffs, and Megan's July 3rd, so she's always free agency.
so yeah, I was like, they're at least gonna have the decency to get through the first week of June. They are not gonna, no. Yeah, I think especially after the exit interview, I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, I think you're out of a job.
That was it. That
And the
was it.
crazy thing is, I didn't mind him as a coach. It
Yeah.
was it was an improvement. It was an improvement from his predecessor, and that's all I'm going to say on
Yeah.
that
Fair.
before you ask.
All right. We don't have to deep dive that one. That's totally fair. Megan and I get it as Red Wings fans. Um, I will say that presser that Coach Tabor did was so shocking to me because I'm a crazy goalie fan. But the one thing you never do is blame your goalie, right? Like, isn't that just sort of like hockey 101? Like,
You
I don't know, like the best players out there, even if it's totally the goalie's fault, are still the ones to say, it's a team effort. We had a defensive breakdown. I should have done X, Y, and Z. One thing I love about hockey players, it's always if it's a loss, it's always about what they as an individual could have done better. But if they win, they're the first to say, it took the team. It was the team effort. We really played well. So it just did not align well with hockey culture or with what I think Dallas stands for because you've got such a great room and the guys seem to really love each other. Do you get that vibe?
Oh, absolutely. Our whole thing is a little less for a lot more. Um, I mean, Jamie has said it himself. Whenever the team falls apart in front of Otter, or if Otter has a bad night, the onus is usually on the team as a whole, especially
Yeah.
defense.
Yeah.
So collectively, they're all looking at this decision like, we should have figured it out sooner. This is not on him. You also have to remember that his first ever playoff appearance, he went up against Calgary and put up insane numbers for 2022 that have had people saying, oh yeah, Jake Ottinger, top 10 goalie for like the past almost what, 4 years at this point.
Yeah.
We know we
Yeah.
don't have a bad starter, but that was a bad set
Mhm.
of circumstances.
Yeah, for sure. What did you think about some of the chirps during the playoffs? Like we hear, goalies always suffer the most because their names are chanted by the entire arena of the other fan base. But we heard, which was wild, a lot of Winnipeg fans chanting, Otter, Otter, and then the Dallas fans saying like Otter's number one or like back up to Hellebuck because of that Team USA rivalry. What do you think of
I
that?
mean, for all the mouth that the Jet fans, that Winnipeg and just Manitoba as a whole had during the round we had against him, Hellebuck might be one of the greatest goalies in the world, but he
Oh,
was
for
an
sure.
absolute ghost
I
during
know
that
it was
round.
so weird. So not like him. I mean, he's
It's
so good in regular
atypical for
season.
him, so it's just like, how is it that Hellebuck carried you here and you have all this audacity, but it just disappeared in the face of a team you've not, I'm pretty sure we beat them one singular time in regulation when we went up against them division-wise.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, they curb stomped us at least twice this season, so
Oh
I
no.
am just fascinated at how they had the audacity, confidence, and gumption, but none of the action to back it up.
Yeah. They couldn't
Especially,
win away.
it's like, okay, sure,
Yeah.
you absolutely curb stomped us in January. Where's that smoke in March? Where's that smoke in April? It was almost like there's something. I honestly think something might have been going on with Hellebuck because it just seemed atypical for him.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I have a soft spot in my heart for him because he grew up in the neighborhood I grew up in. I'd say we grew up together, but again, I'm a little bit older than he is. But yeah, I was surprised because it's just not him. So hopefully he'll get it together for next season because clearly he is a top goalie in the league. But I was surprised by the chance they were getting personal there in that series.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you get to go to any of the games?
I did not. I believe out of the rounds we did play, we only firmly had home ice advantage when we were playing Colorado.
Got it.
If I'm remembering correctly, I think we did. Like, I don't think we had home ice advantage when we were playing Winnipeg or when we were playing Edmonton because I think they were seated higher than us just by a little bit.
Okay. You would know. I don't question your stats and data.
And we haven't had to think about anything like that in a long time.
Oh my God, I know. We're like in like high school, like summer vacation mode, where you like forget everything you learned because we
Yeah.
haven't played hockey in
What's
so long.
what's that like?
But speaking of hockey
Oh.
that has been going on relatively recently, Megan, you have a very cool sweatshirt behind you. Tell
Oh,
us about that. You
well,
rarely see
I feel
Dallas
like
and
it's
Wings on the same piece.
I feel like it's kind of a sad story. So we always had the prospect tournament in Traverse City for years and years and years, and it has kind of, faded off a little bit now. And I think it's a little exciting that at least, if it's just going to be Detroit and Dallas, we're going to do it in Dallas this year. But this was last year's sweatshirt where we had our little Dallas Detroit tournament. It's really cute.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget one thing in Traverse City. There was a point where they needed to upgrade the rink and it was going to be like a pretty significant cost. It needed to meet NHL standards. And, Traverse City is just a small town and the training camp is sort of like a fundraiser for youth hockey for the most part.
Right.
And the Dallas Stars actually donated like a very large chunk of money to help upgrade that rink so that they could
Love
continue
that.
the tournament in Traverse City, which I always thought was so nice.
It's incredible, and why I consider Dallas like our, if I may, like a cousin.
Yeah.
They're like, if I can't cheer for Detroit, I'm going to root for Dallas. They're like, they're our people.
Mm-hmm.
Did you
For
know about
sure.
that history with prospect tournament?
Not actually, no, I did not. But also, it probably helps since we're in different divisions. I can certainly see, like, not even just with the Traverse City prospect tournament. I'm pretty sure there is some history. I can't remember it off the top of my head, just outside of our current GM getting his start in Detroit
Yes.
as, I
Yeah.
believe, a scout. Um, there have always been just underlying lines of connection between the two of us. You guys being an original six team, showing up in the 90s.
Yep.
Um, I'm pretty sure some of our players have most likely gone to Michigan State or UMich. Again, I don't remember off the top of my head, but there are always these underlying currents. Also,
Yeah,
I'm
for
pretty
sure.
sure the U.S. National Development Team is stationed in Michigan, if I'm
Yes.
remembering
It's in
correctly.
Plymouth. Very close.
Yeah,
So,
it's close to. It's really close to Megan's house. Yeah, but not far away at all. You know your history lesson. Very, very true. And I think it helps. We're not even just different divisions, but different conferences. So why not have a buddy in
Mm-hmm.
the West? So
Yeah.
thanks for being our buddy. And hopefully, I mean, who knows what will happen? But I remember reading an article a while back that said Dallas and Detroit will continue to partner for prospect tournament, but just maybe alternate locations,
Hmm.
which would be really nice. Makes a ton of sense. So maybe we'll see you at one in the future. See the kiddos coming up. Can't
Yeah,
call them
and
that. They're like your age, bless them. We can't call them that.
I think it just goes back to what I said at the beginning of the segment. There's something kind of beautiful about us all being able to connect in pursuit of something bigger without having it be strictly on the basis of like an international tournament like the Olympics, because you're
Yeah.
seeing all
Mhm.
these underlying narratives that some people just don't even think about creating something really beautiful. Like, for
Mhm.
instance, Seth Jones, he plays in Florida now. He's
Yeah.
going to be in Florida for, I'm pretty sure, the next decade. He is a Plano native and he brought the cup back home.
Oh, he
Did he?
did. That's
Oh, that's
awesome.
great.
Very cool. How far is that from Dallas?
Plano, Dallas, I would say maybe an hour or so, depending on which part.
Okay, so not too far.
Because I
That's pretty cool.
know, yeah, I don't remember which rink he brought it to, but again, growing up in one place, playing for another team, becoming the person you're becoming. That's just really in there's something just really vital in how hockey chooses to emphasize like certain narratives, and like how in like the most unexpected moments it creates some of these most insanely beautiful things. Like during the Winnipeg round when Wheeler was like, my dad's gone.
Mm,
The Dallas fan base donated an insane amount of money to the charities he worked with in
I
honor
noticed
of
that.
him. Like
Yeah, that was
that's
so classy.
like yeah, there's just this level. I don't class might be the right word for it, but there's something just really beautiful about being able to just situationally abandon your allegiance in
Hmm.
the pursuit of something good and better. And I
Yeah.
think
Mhm.
people who think we're corny for just finding beauty in that just really don't get hockey at its core. It is so much
Yeah.
more than a bunch of people hitting a rubberized puck into a net and, having one person who is willing enough to take some of those pucks to the face. Like, it is so much more than that.
You nailed it, Blessin', and it's so wonderful to have you, of all people, articulate this because one of the 3 times your name came up during our podcast episodes, we were talking about why Ladies of the NHL is so special to us. And it's the same reasons we love hockey. It brought all these people from all walks of life, everywhere from their early 20s to retirees, we'll say, from every state, like every background, and somehow we're all friends and we all just like love each other because we get the mindset of understanding and appreciating hockey. So I couldn't agree more, and you said it so beautifully. You should write a book. You should a little hockey memoir by Blessin. We'd all buy it.
Aw.
So we have to talk about your favorite player because you alluded to a favorite player early in the episode. And I understand why he's your favorite because he's incredible, but there's a lot happening in his world right now. So let's talk about it.
All right. So, like I mentioned earlier, how like it was kind of an incremental introduction to hockey. Jason Robertson, Jason
Robo.
Robertson got drafted in the second round of the 2017 draft.
Mm.
He has been my favorite player since the moment he got drafted. I have a blackout jersey of him. My card
Oh.
collection is weeping because the majority of the Stars cards in it are predominantly just either base cards of him or inserts of him or something involving him.
Yeah.
I've really got to fix my storage with that, but we'll get to that later.
You're
But
preaching to the choir here.
but he is my guy. Like, I think the first time that 2022-23 season, that was the season he just basically blew himself out of the water.
Yeah.
Back-to-back hat tricks. I even asked my brother when we were watching like footage of him, I was like, he looks like he's flying, and he's like, no, he's actually considered kind of slow.
What?
Yeah,
Really?
no. Fun fact, that I think only like fun fact, a lot of the people who were like scouting him and looking at him before Dallas got to him were like, he's actually kind of slow for his age despite his height. And I'm like,
Okay, interesting. You know
and
why I probably didn't realize that? He is one of the most seamless and fluid wingers in terms of like his playmaking abilities. Like you can tell, I would allude him to like on our team right now, Patrick Kane, the way he sees the ice, you can tell he sees it like 5 plays ahead of everyone else. And it just I think that's why I always thought like he must be faster than he is because his brain is so fast.
oh, easily. And I think one of the things that I love to bring up in front of people who are like, he's just a guy. He is the exact same age I am, and his shootout rate is somewhere between 68 to 75%. And this is like what, about to
Wow.
be his fifth or sixth season? How many people do you know with a shootout percentage that clean and that high from when they first started out in the league? The only other person I
Yeah.
can immediately think of is maybe Nick Suzuki, and that's
Yeah.
because he embarrasses the goalie when he gets put out in the shootout.
Well, as a goaltender, I would not want to face either of them. Like, yeah, the
Exactly.
odds are not in your favor.
Absolutely not.
So, what do you think? The rumor mill's spinning. I keep hearing 50-50 whether Robo re signs with Dallas next year or goes to like, there's like 7 or 8 teams on the quote unquote short list, which isn't very short. What does your gut tell you, Blessin?
Robo is staying put.
All
Just
right. You
like
heard it here
just
first.
just like when we got Mikko Rantanen and I looked over at some of our friends like, Mikko Rantanen better be the best fucking winger the Stars have ever seen if we're paying him nearly 100 mil to be here.
Yeah,
I
for sure.
have a pretty solid feeling Robo isn't leaving. It is just a matter of how long versus how much.
Yep,
Because I
exactly.
think as of right now, we are technically under the cap at somewhere around, I want to say 2.5 million.
Okay.
And his qualifying offer, he is currently getting paid, I would like to say 7.8 million for the deal he is on.
Yep.
So it is most likely going to be an even 8 or an even 10 at minimum.
Okay.
Also, every single asset that any of the other teams could trade to get Robo is not gonna be enough.
It's
Like
not enough.
people have been saying, "Oh, well, what if he goes to Vegas?" They just got Mitch Marner. And as somebody who is also a fan of the Golden Knights, we're
Yeah.
not broke, but we don't have any prospects to trade. We
Yeah.
barely have picks to trade because we've already traded them for somebody else. Somebody said something about him possibly going to Boston. I say
Mm.
this with, I'm gonna hold both your hands when I say this. With what money and with which draft picks?
That's Detroit too. I was
Mm-hmm.
kidding, but wishful thinking that we would have a
Yeah,
chance at Row,
no.
but we don't have. Yeah, we don't have anything for you.
DBY, I'm gonna hold both your hands when I say this. You don't have that type of money.
Oh, he knows it. We're doing okay on cap space, but I mean, in terms of
That's
assets,
about it.
like,
Especially with the new
yeah,
CBA being signed,
yeah,
you
Mm-hmm.
want to lock him down into his first few years as an unrestricted free agent. You don't have
yeah,
enough money for 8 years. We barely
yeah,
have enough money for 8 years. The only reason we haven't done it yet, and or along with extending out Thomas Harley, is because when we traded for Miko, we didn't account for how much we were going to have to move. But I think, again, one of the reasons why our GM of the year, 3 times in a row, Jim Nill, is not somebody we really question is because he is so wizard-like. Like he just sometimes he's just pulling rabbits out of hats, and I'm sitting here like, how did we get away with that? It's like
yeah,
how some people are like, did Dallas just fleece us? I don't know, you tell me. So, especially now, like it's the 28th of July when we're recording this.
Yes.
If we were going to move Jason, it probably would have been within the first half of the month.
Oh,
So
you
I have
think?
a
Okay.
feeling, so I'm thinking that they're still talking. I'm thinking that they're still figuring out what what is going to happen, how much he's going to pay and get paid and for how long. Because remember, the 26-27 season is when the new 4-year collective bargaining agreement kicks in, and the longest you can sign out a player at that point is 7 years. So
Oh, okay.
if they're going to sign him to an 8-year deal or anything longer than 5 years, they're probably going to do it in between now and the
Yep.
middle of training camp, because you also have to remember when he came off his entry level contract onto the current deal he has, he didn't get signed till like the middle of the night in like late September, early October.
Oh, really?
Discussions were really long.
It was the middle of the night.
2000,
Did you get like an alert and wake up? Were you the first to know?
like I think they sent out like an email at like almost 11 o'clock at night going,
Oh
"Oh,
my
hey, by
gosh.
the way, Robo's staying for another 4 years." And I'm like, "And y'all couldn't have done this around dinner time? I was
Right.
asleep."
Exactly. At least they told you right away. There you go.
And it was also the same year we extended out Otter to the deal he was on right now before his new 8-year contract kicks in. So,
Yeah.
yeah, the
Okay.
summer, the 2020, the 22-23 off season, one of the worst ones to date in my personal opinion, because we just basically spent the majority of the summer going, "Hey, do you know? As soon as I know, you'll know." They're
Yeah.
still talking. They're still talking.
It's
Training camp
it's
started. They're still talking.
God.
right. I know some of those things. I know we'll never be privy to it, but gosh, to be a fly on the wall, I'm like, what is taking so long? That was us this time last year, and it went until after training camp with we had our two big UFAs were Lucas Raymond and Moritz Seider, and Lucas didn't get signed until like I think it was like the guys were en route to training camp, and then Mo missed training camp and got signed right afterwards. But we're like, we're clearly not letting like the future of our team walk. Just get this done, people. I will
And
never
then
understand what takes so long.
yeah, I think in between all of that, you had extended out a bunch of your guys who are in Grand Rapids. I'm pretty sure this is around the time Dylan had gotten Larkin had gotten
Yeah.
his extension. And I'm sitting here like, don't get me wrong, I fully understand extending your captain, but could you please extend Mo? My friends
Thank
are
you.
super stressed out.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we said the same.
Mm-hmm.
You get us, Blessin. So, okay, training camp's coming up, and the I think we're at what 71 days, 70 days maybe, until the season. What are you most excited for this coming season with the Stars?
I have a strong feeling based on what we've seen in Cedar Park with the Texas Stars and how they also made it to their Western Conference Finals. They eventually did get smashed out by the current Calder Cup champions, the Abbotsford Canucks.
Yes.
There is one person I feel like should be on everyone's radar, even if they're just casually watching the Stars, whether it be Texas or Dallas. His name is Justin Ritzkovian. And I'm
Oh, okay.
starting to think he is that dude. It's very reminiscent of some of the things we saw when we still had Logan.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of speed, a lot of promise. He's putting up the kind of numbers that like indicate that maybe even if it's just for the preseason or maybe even if it's under 10 games and he has to burn off the first year of his entry level contract to the league, he's showing a lot of promise in ways that people who obviously don't watch us don't get. But it goes back to how we scout. We
Yeah.
find some real diamonds in the rough. I mean, Christ alive, the last rookie who came up that wasn't Bishel was freaking Wyatt Johnston, and
Yeah.
he was 19. He didn't even
Right.
play for the Texas Stars. And
Yeah.
now look
Wow.
at him.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I know. Incredible. He's one of your favorites too, isn't he? Do I remember that in a card break?
Yes. Yeah, he is one of our youngest and brightest, and I feel like
Yes.
we're seeing a lot of similar things that we saw while he was still in Windsor with the Spitfires.
Mhm.
Um, and we're starting to see some of those more apparent patterns along with him maturing and evolving in Ritzy. So I would not be surprised if we called him up. I also would not be surprised if for some reason we called up Matei. Actually, wait, that's not true. He's in Boston now.
Oh, got to check your spreadsheet.
But
So,
again, we have a lot in our pipeline that shows a lot of promise. I mean, for
yeah.
Christ's sake, we extended out Ben Cross and he was a black ace for our playoff run. I
Mhm.
don't believe he actually ever got any time in the net,
Okay.
but the future is bright. I
Yeah.
think that's the thing I'm trying to emphasize. The future is bright. I mean, we've got Emil Hemming, we've got this whole roster of kids. I mean, we have Matthew Seminoff, who used to play with Logan. Like, the future
Oh,
is bright in Dallas.
okay. And most
We
of these
just
guys
have
are
to
with the
remember
Tech
that.
Sisters.
Yes, they are
Okay.
predominantly with our team in Cedar Park, which is right by Austin.
Yes. Got it. So that's your AHL affiliate, Texas Stars. I would love to see. I'm going to try to go to a Grand Rapids Griffins Texas
They
Stars
just
game.
happened to be at the Chicago Wolves game I went to.
Oh yeah, you got to
Mhm.
see
I
them.
did.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool.
Yes.
Um, well, thanks for your perspective because you have such a really honest vision and you don't sugarcoat it and your optimism is awesome, but you know what you're talking about. So if anyone takes anything away from this episode, it's trust Blessen and the Stars' future is bright. So we could talk Dallas and hockey with you all night long, but we will ultimately have to part ways. So before we do, may we do a fun little rapid fire, like shit, say the first thing that comes to mind when we ask you these questions.
Hit me with it.
Okay, yay. I love when people are into it. I'll start. Megan, you can ask one if you have one too.
I don't know if I do. I can work on it.
Okay. First question. Gary Bettman comes on stage and announces in a presser there will be a 33rd NHL team joining us for the 25-26 season. It will be called the Blessen Brocks. What color jerseys do they wear?
They're wearing some shade of turquoise. And
Okay.
the most crucial thing is they are not in Houston. Please don't get me
Okay. Okay.
started. I, we don't need another team. We don't need another
Okay.
NHL team in Texas.
Interesting.
That's yeah. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
big state, so it's
Mhm.
interesting. But you have a very robust pipeline, so maybe that's a good strategy. Don't dilute it. Okay. Also, not far from I chose Tiffany blue for mine, so we like those cracking colors, huh? All right. Did you think of one, Megan?
What?
Okay,
Oh,
I'll
I was
go.
supposed to be that fast.
I have
Oh yeah,
another
do
one
the
on
things.
dock.
I
All
need
right.
more prep time.
All right, fine. I have my usual suspects for our
I
listeners
have
who come
one
back every week.
idea. I have one idea.
Okay.
You want me to
The
do it? Oh,
yes.
go. Oh, I was gonna say if Upper Deck called and said that you can pick a new insert, what would you name it?
Such a good question.
Oh. That's
It's hard.
that's especially especially since it's an insert. Is it like, are we getting hard signed autos? Is it a hard signed
Oh,
auto with a patch in it?
Oh,
Is
you
only
it
the
can
going to
best for
pick.
you.
be is it
Only
going
the
to
best
be
for
an
you.
extremely like short run? Like how short are we talking? Are we talking like maybe one in every six cases? Like
I think so.
is
Leave
it
it to the data
I know. She needs more.
analysis.
You can't just say insert. What kind of insert? I respect this.
You're really
like
thinking about this.
is it foiled? Are we getting a big patch? I mean,
Okay, let's
are
say it's
we
very rare. Um, 1 of 10 exclusive in a series 1 box.
Oh, that is insane.
Yes.
Okay. So if we're talking the flagship series, it's
Mhm.
probably stitched into the future and there's probably going to be a patch in it at minimum if we're talking 1 to 10.
Mhm.
It's
I
got to
love
be something that convinces, not only us as hockey card enjoyers that are also female fans, but like, you know, the guys in the other card groups that aren't like ours that are like, is this worth anything? And people are frothing at the mouth about it, kind of in the same way the blue-signed Ovies were in.
Yeah.
I want to say series 2 for this year for the flagship series. Like, it's got to be the kind of thing that gets people's mouths frothing if there's only going to be 10 of them. I mean, the
The
closest thing
frothers.
it's got to like the only thing I can think of that'd be close to that is maybe Jewels of the Draft out of a Black Diamond box, and
Oh
they're
yeah.
putting it as
Mhm.
something as commonplace as a series 1 box. It's got to be something that is making people literally buy boxes in bulk the same way Stacy does. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's got
Yeah.
to be something that drives people crazy.
You've got the business mind. I would have just like yelled out like something with the word sparkle in it. And you like really thought about the strategy, how you were going to market it, who the target audience was. I'm extremely impressed.
I mean,
Great question, Megan. Okay, getting back to a far easier one. The Blessen Brocks are just getting out of training camp, and the fan base says, "We want a mascot." What do you give them? What's your mascot?
that's actually kind of crazy to think about, especially since this hypothetical team is not stationed in Texas
Yeah,
and it's
good call.
turquoise. Like, I'd want it. I mean, I feel like we're gonna incorporate like some sort of force of nature in there somehow.
Okay.
Not, I mean, like, especially probably something based in the ocean, like, I don't know, a tsunami or just something that may not be like an animal.
Okay.
I like it.
That's cool. Yeah, well, you would. You love the hurricanes. No,
Mm-hmm.
I like that. And then you can have fun with like what the mascot looks like because it's a little bit cerebral. Very good. Very good. All right. You probably have thought about this one, but we'll see. If you played hockey, what position would you play and why?
Oh, that's easy. I would most likely be a center or the seventh defenseman in a pinch. Um, I have no issue with being on the ice for long shifts. Um, I just have no interest in being pelted with a puck.
Yeah, there you
Goalies are
go.
brave, but I'm not that brave.
They wear so much padding, though. I think what's worse is being the defenseman who's required to block shots. Oy.
You would think, but you also have to remember if I'm the seventh defenseman, I'm really only coming up if either 4, 5, or 6 gets hurt.
There you go. Smart.
I am not
Another
a
smart
first pair
answer.
defenseman. I am
Yeah,
not Miro Heiskanen.
there you go.
You will be safe.
I love your answers. They're so smart, so well thought out. Um, oh, the last one I like to ask, and this one's tough because there's so many options. But if you had to choose a goal song or a victory song, what song would you pick for your team?
That is such.
I know it took me like a long time to answer this for myself, and I'm still like debating. I'm still not happy with what I told Shannon, Megan. We may have to revisit this.
I know.
It's funny that we ask these questions, but we ourselves never like really
Yeah.
thought about our answers. And then we're like, wait, you want to ask us? I don't know.
Yeah, it's really hard. The song's really hard.
It's really hard because you're
It's
stuck with it for a while.
yeah.
Honestly, thinking about what I've recently had on loop, I think I would say I think they know by Broadside because it's like it would
Ah,
be ironic in the way because like their chorus is like I think they know, I think they know, I think they know. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's almost like chirping because
Yeah.
obviously they saw the goal go in. I think they know. I think they know we scored.
oh my gosh, I really want you
I
to get a
love
team
it.
now.
Is somebody going to bankroll that so that I can invest in an
Right.
expansion team? As
Uh,
long as it's not in Houston, I'm listening.
right. Okay. Sorry, Houston. Otherwise, you're welcome anywhere, Blessin. This has been so much fun. I hope you had fun hanging out with us.
Yeah.
You are such a joy. We're so glad to know you. Thanks for always keeping us smart with all of your great stats and knowledge. And we'd love to have you back. Maybe we can do an update mid-season to see how all of your Dallas Stars predictions are coming true.
Oh, absolutely. I would be happy to be back as long as we can get that done. I would say before the Olympic break, I'd be happy to come back.
Love
Sounds
that.
good.
Yay.
Alrighty. Well, you take care. We'll talk soon.
See you later.
Bye. Welcome to the third period.
Wasn't that so much fun? I feel
Blessen is
like
incredible.
I know, and I don't feel like we overhyped her at all. Like she's so legit and so smart, and it's so incredible. Like her
I
wealth of
don't think
knowledge.
when I was her age, I could have just like hopped on a podcast and
Yeah.
spoken that
Oh my
articulately about
gosh.
players. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
incredible. So
Totally.
overachiever. She's the Wyatt
Absolutely.
Johnson of ladies of the NHL.
I think so. And I couldn't imagine like a better like career path for her either. Like that's so impressive. Like
Yes. I love it. Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm excited for her outlook on the future of the Stars because,
Mhm.
yeah, certainly the Texas Stars are incredible and went really
Mhm.
far in the Calder Cup race. So we'll have a Dallas dynasty to watch unfold here in the next few
Let's
years.
see. Yeah. That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
Very excited to see what happens with Robo. I mean,
Yeah.
if he can't be a Red Wing, I want him to stay in Dallas. I'll
Well,
just say
I
it.
totally agree with her. I just can't imagine him going anywhere else. And I feel like if Florida could figure it out, I feel like Dallas is going to figure it out.
Mhm. Yes. How Florida's making the cap work is
Not sure
beyond
they're
me.
there yet, but they'll figure it out.
They will figure it out, sure.
Gonna have to.
Yes. Well, this was a fun one. And we do have, off the top of my head, two, if not more, other really incredible Dallas Stars ladies that we know who have also their unique perspective into the world of the Stars that we should also invite on because it's a really interesting franchise to follow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mhm. Want to give a style tip, Megan?
Yeah, I think Blessen really has a style tip that we're inspired by. She really does some very fun makeup for Dallas Stars games, and I'm hoping that
Yeah.
she'll share a couple pictures so we can have you check that out on social media. But yeah, I think having fun with your makeup and getting into the spirit of the game is a great way to show your team spirit for sure.
Somebody recently asked me at work, she was going to a sporting event and said, I don't have anything from the team. Like, what do you think I should wear, Devin? And I was like, I'm so glad you asked me. Apparently, hockey style branding is working. But two, I was like, just grab something with like a pop of color. And I should have said, don't even worry about that. You could do a fun makeup. Blessen does incredible like green eyeshadow and liner, and she'll do fun lipsticks. And it's just it's not if you listen to our Boston episode with Melissa, who does incredible face paint, Blessen does it with just like a makeup look, and she's
Yes.
very talented. So I love your idea, Megan. We'll have to ask her for some pictures and we'll post them on our Instagram when this episode airs, and it'll be at Hockey Style Podcast. So check us out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Next week is a big week for us. Sneak peek, if you've made it to the end of the third period, you get to know that we have the chief marketing officer of the NHL joining us, Heidi Browning. This is big, guys. We may just retire after. Just kidding. If you keep listening, we will keep making content. But yes, we're very, very excited. So please join us. I think you're going to love it. And if you enjoy listening, go ahead and subscribe, like, and go ahead and follow us on socials because we don't want you to miss any of our hockey style shenanigans.
Please do.
See you next week.
Bye.